In this episode of Bone-A-Fide, we meet Danielle Pereira, owner of Farm in the Wildwood, which is a permaculture and regenerative small-scale farm in Piedmont, South Carolina.
How did you actually become a farmer?
That's a big question. I don't think I tamed the wildness. I think nature started working on me. I was all wound up from my corporate career. I was used to getting results immediately, turning around reports, expecting things to be perfect. And it was quite an adjustment. I'd say it took me a good 2 years to finally realize nature's not going to hurry. Nature's not going to work on my timeline. I have to adapt. I have to learn. I have to observe. It's built in, I think, when you're gardening to experience failure. In fact, I like to say that I experienced all of life in the garden, and that's very helpful to kind of have this small space where there's success, and there's grief, and there's failure, and there's surprises, sometimes happy surprises, sometimes not so good surprises. And so I think that maybe I could say the farm made me more wild and not me made the farm less wild. I had mentioned that I had 3 young children at the time. My family lived 30 minutes away from the farm, and I'm the main caregiver of my kids. So I had to be very realistic about what I would be able to accomplish and how quickly, and that was okay with me. I was in a time in life where I could go for it, and I don't take that for granted. I'm really grateful. But I knew it would have to be slow and messy. And I gave myself a good 10 years. And I'm still in those, I'm in the far end of those 10 years, but I decided to give myself a good 10 years and just start from scratch. I had to figure out what kind of farmer I wanted to be, what methods I wanted to use. And me being a mother influenced that. I wanted my family to be able to be out here, my children on the summer break to be able to garden with me. Well, that meant I didn't want chemicals out in the garden. I wanted, to be surrounded by wildlife, to make sure that butterflies were able to be, to have flowers to pollinate and different things like that. So I started reading a lot. The first term I came across was permaculture, which taught me to observe nature so that I can see how nature grows and try to mimic that. And for that reason, I love permaculture. I started reading about regenerative agriculture and understanding nutrient cycles, how alive our soil is, how to foster its aliveness and to help keep it alive, to realize that taking care of my soil was going to be the recipe for growing great food, and eco-agriculture, which essentially is harnessing the ecosystem to help you farm. And I needed to learn that, and I'm still learning that. I'd say all around I'm still learning how to be a farmer. But to understand beneficial insects, how to create habitats for them, to design the farm in a way where there's always roots in the soil, trying to always keep something living in the ground, keeping permanent hedges where the flora can thrive. That's been the challenge and the adventure, I think, of starting this farm. And then I think most of all, it was the school of hard knocks. I came out here so ignorant, not knowing what tools to use, not even being handy with tools. So we like to joke around that we started farming by going back to the Stone Age, because it was just our hands, and a couple wooden and metal tools. And that's how we learned, but it allowed me to sit with the seasons, to be able to understand and observe the life cycles, the growth cycles, because like I said, I've been in an office, literally with no windows. I just have been away from it for the majority of my life. And I needed to sit with it and understand it, and I think learning to grow that way, in the long run, I'll be very glad that I did.